channel, I'm Amanda and today we are doing a colour supplies video. So I wanted to show you the supplies that I used to colour in mostly colouring books, but I also use it for my art as well. So if you want to see what I use, then stay tuned. Okay, so I'm going to show you all the colour book supplies that I use and why I use them, so that you guys can maybe have recommendations or just because you're curious. I have no idea, but we're going to start with my pencil collection, and I keep it in this this case that you can get on Amazon, and I'll link it in the description below if I can find it. I'll link everything in the description below on Amazon if I can find it, if you want to buy it on Amazon, and I do get a little cut of that, but it doesn't like cost you anything else. So if you want to help the channel out, then you can, because I have Amazon wish list for the channel to get through. Anyway, so this is my pencil collection, and I do have a lot of Faber-Castell. I have almost a full collection. I think I'm missing just a few because I've used them up. Because I've either used them up or I have replaced them. And I have Prismacolors as well, but I only have the skin tone set for the Prismacolors because I'm scared to buy a full set just in case I need to replace one and I can't get it because it's so expensive. So this is my Prismacolor and Polychromos sets in here, and there's a couple of luminance that I like to use because I can get deep coverage with those if I really need them, but I mainly use these ones for my portraits. So I use luminance for my portraits, and I use my Prismacolor and Polychromos for coloured pencils. And while we're at it, I also have these Uni Posca pens that I like to use for whites and highlights. I have two different sizes, so this one is a 0.7 and this one is a 0.9 to 1.3 millimeter, so they are very different in size. If you can see that, how different they are, but they are very handy for white highlights and stuff. So I keep that in this little pencil case as well, just in case I need it. I have a white Polychromos in here, but I don't actually use the white Polychromos. Just saying, it's crap. And I also use a white luminance pencil, but I have a Prismacolor in here, so I wanted to use up the Prismacolor white first before I started on the other one. To rub out coloured pencil, this one's a good one. It's an electric, well, a battery operated sharpener, and it's from Derwent, and you basically just press that and it turns, and then you get refills as well. The only thing I will say about this is that it does push it down a lot, and it's hard to use the full thing, but if you get it at the right section and just push it in like that, see, it's hard to it's hard to adjust basically. So yeah, it does push it down, so it's kind of annoying, but anyway, I have a couple of those like clickable eraser things, but that's my coloured pencil collection that I use. And doesn't it look so lovely just like this? I need to rearrange some of the colours though because they're all mixed up at the moment, but that's the coloured pencils. This tub is Haribo, and these are Sweeties in the UK. I don't know if you can get them in America, but basically, actually probably, because the guy that owns them is Asian or something, I don't know. But this box has stuff that I use occasionally, but not enough. Like, I want to use this stuff, but it's in a box, so I always forget that I have it. But there's a, actually I need to keep that out. There's a set of 36 Tri Plus fine liners in here, and a set of super tips from Crayola in here, and there is a set of these, like, well, a couple of these art line sticks, which are good if you want to cover really like big areas, but I don't use them that much, like I said. And then there's these Faber-Castell grip colour markers, which do tear up the paper quite a bit if you are not careful. And then I also use Pet Artist pens, but I keep these for my artwork mostly because they are expensive, and you can get the same results with the Crayolas. So, but Crayolas are good if you just want a quick flat wash, or a quick flat base of colour to put coloured pencils over the top, but it doesn't give you tooth. So saying that, if you want tooth, I use these, and in this little baggie is craft paint. So I use the Americana brand mostly because Dee Dee recommended them, and these are the only brand that sell in my stores close to me that are acrylic matte, because I bought these, and these are actually really shiny, and they don't give you the same amount of tooth or surface for the pencil to be used on. These are still quite good acrylic paints if you just don't want to go over them afterwards, but I recommend getting the craft paint instead. And I also use Crafters Acrylic, which is the same company as Americana ALLJArt, and I use Crafter's Choice, which is actually Royal and Land Nickel. So they're the same type of paint basically. They are acrylic, and you have to shake well before use. Non-toxic, permanent, high quality acrylic paint, ideal for paper, canvas, fabrics, metal, ceramics, leather, wood, etc. Soap and water cleanup when wet. So really cool. Like it. Pale mauve. I think that's the only brands that I have. Yeah, I would say that's the only brands, or maybe this one's a different one. Oh no, that's Americana. So yeah, Crafter's Choice, Crafter's Acrylic, and Americana craft paint are them, and I have them in a variety of different colours just to make sure. I don't think I have an metallic one, but if you get the metallic or like if you get the wrong type, satin or whatever it is, they won't work. It's going to be matte. So that is the paint that I used for mainly washes, watered down with watercolour, with water and backgrounds. So the next thing that I use are watercolours, and I don't use these particularly in my colour books that much because they are expensive paints, but they are better for tooth. Whereas if you use these are very shiny and very slick when you lay them down, so they're not as good, but they are good for if you want to do actual watercolour and nothing else. This is a cheap set. It's Koi Watercolours Pocket Field Sketchbox, and this is a 12 set by Sakura, and they are really good for just doing quick washes of colour and build up of colour. If you're not going to go over them in coloured pencil, I wouldn't really recommend it. You can, and it does work, but it's not as good as acrylic paint or these, which if you do want to, if you have the money, why not, right? If you have the money and you want to fork out for a little bit of a better quality, then these are Schmink, and they are Hordame. They're not the Academy version, the student brand, but you can get the student brand and they're just as good. They are a really good brand. Also, this is another good brand of watercolour, and they are Winsor & Newton Cotman set, and I do have a couple of Schmink in here because I ran out of the Cotman and I replaced them with Schmink, but they're really good, and they do give a good gritty texture, especially the browns. And this is Payne's Grey by Schmink, and this is Purple by Schmink, and this is also by Schmink. But the rest of them, they are really good, and they do give off a really good thing. But I've gave this to my son, but he doesn't use it that much, so this would be a good cheap option actually I think that this would be a better cheap option than this one, just because of the texture that it gives off. It's still slick, but it's not as slick as this one, so I think that this one I would choose over this one. Cotman does seem to be a better type of watercolour than this if you want the gritty texture, but still the smooth look. So I would invest in a Winsor & Newton set if you wanted to go down the watercolour route instead of the Academy Schmink, because I believe that these are much dearer than the Cotman, and I got this for like £14, so you get like 12 colours for £14, and it comes with a little tiny brush as well, but I've lost the brush. This one comes with a water brush and a sponge, but I took the sponge out because I hate the feel of it. But this comes with a water brush like that, whereas this one comes with a little travel brush that you need to add water to. So if I was to recommend, just to stress that because I've just shown you 3 different watercolours, I definitely would pick this middle one, which is Winsor Newton Cotman brand, and the Cotman is the student grade. You could get the professional brand as well, the professional type, but the student grade is good for watercolor Colourbook stuff. If I don't want to get my big expensive pencils out, I usually use Crayola. Crayola are a really good brand for just doing a coloured pencil in kind of more muted tones, because they do provide good pigment, but if you want really vibrant colours and you don't want to have to press down really hard, I wouldn't recommend Crayola. These are good if you want really muted colours and you don't want to press that hard and you just want like really washed out looking drawings or colour book pages. I would definitely recommend investing the Polychromos into the Polychromos or the Prismacolor, because these yeah, basically the pain is not worth it. The money is worth not having the pain for. Another thing that I like to use is watercolour pencils, and I would not recommend the Derwent brand. Derwent are good for some things like sharpeners and rubbers, and yeah, basically just sharpeners and rubbers, and they're also good for Inktense. But these are Derwent Inktense. These are Derwent watercolour pencils, and they are bad. They break a lot. The colour choices are not that good. I would recommend that you invest in a Faber-Castell, and I'm not sponsored by any of these guys, but I would recommend you invest in a Faber-Castell set or even a Caran d'Ache set, but the Caran d'Ache are really, really expensive. So Faber-Castell, or maybe even just a cheaper set than this. Like, just do not go for the Derwent. I mean, if you've got Derwent and you like them and they don't break for you, that's great, but the newer sets of the Derwent are not very good quality. Like, I know that the coloured pencils and the watercolour pencils from years ago were really good with Derwent, but their quality control has went down a lot. So I think that these are like turning into the new Prismas. Like, you know how everybody was like, stay away from the Prismas? Well, everybody's like, stay away from the Derwent now, although I do appreciate their rubbers and their sharpeners. Now, since I did tell you that I use acrylic paint, I think that you should, if you want to invest in those, is to get a paintbrush like this, which is an angle brush, but it's really, really inexpensive. I got 8 in a pack and it was only a £5 from my local art store, so if you get the packed ones for a couple of quid, they will do you. You could go through quite a lot if you colour book a lot and do a lot of backgrounds, but you don't need expensive brushes for this work. You don't need expensive brushes for real paintings anyway, like doing paintings, but as long as they don't shed, they are good to go. For watercolour and acrylic, I also recommend, if you like softer brushes, the Seagate brand. I don't know if they're available in the UK. I got these sent from a scroller box, but you can get them in the US, I believe, and they are really, really cool. I like the quality of them. They don't shed and they are very, very flexible. They go back to their point again. They're awesome. And the last brand for watercolour brushes is this one. Do not use this with your acrylic paints. These are Daler Rooney Aquafine watercolour brushes, and they are inexpensive. They're a student grade brand. They are very good for their watercolour brushes. I really, really like them. In fact, mine's is getting a bit tatty, but mine's is really, really old, but it keeps to the point. It's really good. They hold the water very well and they hold the paint very well, so I do recommend these. But if you would prefer to not have to carry about water all the time or refill your water, these are very good, and I do recommend the Pentel brush, aqua brush ones, because they are the best quality that I've used. I've used quite a few brands, including the Sakura Zig ones, the Sakura, the Zig, the Derwent, which, by the way, they are horrible quality. This is a Derwent and it is disgusting quality. The bristles like splay really, really easily and quickly, and the water either doesn't come out and gets clogged up really easily, even if you're just using light washes, or it spills out of the brush, so it's not a good quality brush. But I have 3 of these. I don't know where the other one is, I think it's in this case actually. I have 3 of these and these are really good quality and I would highly recommend them. They are so easy, you just put the water in the brush and away you go, and you can watercolour or wet your Colourbook pages to your heart's desire. Another thing that I've started using recently are these coloured pencils, and my brother got me them for my birthday. I had them on my Amazon wish list and he was kind enough to purchase them for me, and he bought me this set, which is actually really nice and I love the colours on them. They are a little bit more muted than any of the other brands that I have mentioned, but I think they are much better than Crayola. Just the colour laydown and stuff, they're really soft. They're not really soft, but they are softer than most harder pencils. So these are the Marco Raffine, and I will put videos and links all down in the description if you want to get any of these. And I have plenty of videos that are going to go up or have already been put up with me actually using these products or showing you things that I've done with these products. So if you want to check that out, subscribe to my channel and make sure to go and check out my other videos. I have plenty on here. I think I have 140 videos for you guys to watch if you want to go back and watch the older videos. They're still pretty relevant, to be fair. And the last couple of things that I want to show you is in this case, and this is a ALLJArt pencil case. Really, really high quality, love this. The only problem is that it has 3 in one hoops rather than just one hoop, and there's my other pentel brush. So I use this set of, well, it's not a set, I bought them individually, but there's more greys and a couple of pinks and then a sepia, and then I bought the white as well, but the white is not really that good, and a black as well. But the greys in the Caran d'Ache Pablo set are really, really good. They're awesome. There's a lot of them, and the quality of the pencil is really nice. So you don't have to get this. You can use the greys that come in the polychromos, but I do like to use the greys that come in here. There are a lot of different colours and stuff. But I think that the Prismacolors have just about the same amount of selection. I'm not sure though, I'm not 100%. Then I have recently started using these Spectrum Noirs, although I do recommend that you get, if you're going to invest in pencils, you get the full set, because this is not enough for me to work up with. I really love the quality of these pencils and the way that they lay down, and you don't have to have that much work. Like, you don't have to do that much work to get what you want with these. But I just feel like my colour palette is a lot, like it's limited basically. I just don't like it, and I want more. So the last thing I'm going to show you is these, and these are Derwent Inktense, and this is the best thing that came out of that company. These are amazing, they're very vibrant, they're water soluble inks, they don't budge once you've put them down. You can put pencil over the top of them if you really wish to either dull down the colours or darken the shadows, but these are amazing and I do recommend these. These are my favourite things to work with in Colorbooks, but certain things I don't, like certain Colorbooks I don't use them in just because of the paper, which kind of is a shame. But anyway, and this brush is one that I wouldn't recommend. Now it is a Caran d'Ache water brush, and it's got cool features on it. It's got this plunger that you push down and you can push the water right into the thing, but it's broken. Like, it gets dry really quickly and the water doesn't come down. This button doesn't do anything. Like on the Pentel ones, if you squeeze this full barrel, it'll come out, the water will come out. But if you squeeze that little button in there, it doesn't do it. Okay, well it's pouring out now, but it usually doesn't do it. It's really hard to get the water out. I just don't like this. I like the design and I like it, but I just don't like the fact that the button is like broken basically and you need to push it really hard. If you have really bad hands or sore fingers, then it won't be good for you. So I thought I would throw that tip in there, don't get that. And I think that is pretty much all of the Colourbook supplies that I use. Obviously I use more. The sharpeners. Sharpeners are really important, guys. But I used this one, which is actually a Derwent sharpener, and it's just a really cheap one that I got in a pencil set. This is the best sharpener I've ever used in my life, and I have This one, which came in a Stedler set, this is really good. The problem is that the blades do die down fast, but I'm guessing that you could replace it since it has a little screw there. All of them do. And then we have this one, which is my automatic long point sharpener, and I just replaced the blades. Now the blades do run down really quickly if you use it a lot, but this is a really good one. It has two little holes here. Basically one of them is to sharpen the wood off of the pencil, and then the other one is to sharpen the actual lead or pigment rather than sharpening the wood and the thing at the same time. Basically it just gives you an amazing long point. I would recommend using this with Polychromos, not Prismacolor, because Prismacolor break really easily and it gets stuck in there and it's not that good, but Polychromos or harder lead pencils would be really cool with this. In fact, I'll show you. This is a problem one, okay? I get problems with this all of the time. It breaks on me all of the time. But if I just get my shavings here, you just stick it in this hole and you sharpen the wood right up to the end where it says stop, like that, right? And then it's like kind of sharpened the wood, but it hasn't sharpened the tip. So then you put it in this side and it sharpens the tip mostly. And it'll give the, see, and once you turn it round it stops sharpening, so then it gives you a nice long point. I think that this pencil is a little bit too, I don't know, you keep on putting it back and forth until it gives you this amazing long point, which is awesome. So, and that's a trouble one, that every time I sharpen that one it breaks with any other sharpener. The problem is if you do put a longer a thicker pencil in there, it does create a little band around it, but it does it works perfectly well, and I can't pull that out, and I usually could pull that out, so it's amazing. I love it compared to all the other tips there. You see, I literally would spend all day using this sharpener. So that's the Coom automatic long point sharpener, and I will put that in the description below as well for you guys. So I think that's everything that I want to show you. I hope that this was informative for you guys and you have went away with something that you needed to know. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks guys, bye!